Welcome back to News 3 Today. Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated presents its 80th debutante class. The holiday season is upon us, and in Savannah, that also means it's debutante season, and later this month, an elite group of local young ladies will be formally introduced as Women in Our Society. Ramon Ray is a member of the Beta Phi Lambda chapter of Alpha Phi Alpha. He's also the debutante committee chair. Thank you so much for being here. You've been in this for a long time. You were here doing this with my girls. All three of them were debutantes.
Absolutely.
Okay.
And certainly thank you this morning, Kim.
Oh, no problem. No problem.
Absolutely.
So let's talk about this tradition, because it dates all the way back to what, 1945?
1945. That chapter was actually founded in 1940.
Wow.
And this was one of the things that they really thought about seeing. They had seen other debutantes and seen how, and they wanted to bring that into the African American community, which has been transpired all over now, but we kind of started it in Savannah.
Yeah, and I was going to say, Savannah now has the oldest continuous cotillion in the country?
Oldest African American cotillion in the country, and that was established by the 17 magazine back in the 1990s, where of course they didn't want to say something that wasn't true.
Yeah.
So they did the research and determined that yes, we did have the oldest African American cotillion.
So what does it mean to be a debutante? I know folks have heard it before, folks have probably seen pictures, but what does it mean?
It is, historically, it's a rite of passage. Women go from being children to being, from children to adults.
Yeah.
And so that's that transition that we have in life. And so it's teaching them about etiquette, it's teaching them about basic things that they need to know about being a woman. It's also, and yes, we're a male organization, but we have support from our alphabets, which are the wives of the alphabets, and also we have other, we have an auxiliary group that also works with the young ladies as well.
Now these young ladies, there's certain criteria that they have to meet in order to become a debutante.
Yes, they have to be a high school senior, and they also have to be, or they could be a sophomore, a freshman in college. We have 2 sophomores that are in this year. Part of what they do as far as their criteria is they have to be recommended either by Alpha or through school counselors. So a lot of our school counselors do, or former debutantes. We get through former debutantes. We have thousands of former debutantes that'll recommend. We have a legacy this year. We have 3 of our debutantes were actually daughters of current debutantes. So, three mothers of our current debutantes are, that whole continuing that. And even last year we had actually so we had 3 generations last year. So that was amazing.
And this is the 80th.
This is the 80th.
80th year, so it's a big year for you. The young ladies also receive a special scholarship in your mom's honor.
Yes. Mother passed away in 2012, but she had worked with the debutantes since 1987.
Yeah.
And during that time, countless of young ladies have gone through that process and gone to become debutantes. And she was certainly, the lead on all of that, and certainly all of the parents and debutantes remember all that she did for them to get them to become where they are today. So certainly that scholarship we have is named in her honor, and the chapter did that in 2013 actually. So I certainly am humbled by that and humbled to carry on that tradition.
Yeah, and since that time, since starting the scholarship, you have awarded more than $40,000 to
more than $40,000 in the past 5 years. But certainly since the scholarships were issued in 2012, we're probably in a 70,000 range.
Oh,
but
wow.
yeah, that's just in the last few years.
Okay, so let's tell people how they can be a part of this ceremony by coming to support the local debutantes. You have about 7 this year. You have 7 young ladies this year.
We have 7 young ladies this year. Certainly we have our main event, which is the debutante cotillion debutante presentation.
And you're back at the Civic Center.
And we're back at the Civic Center for the first time since 2009. So we're excited about that because we can do something in the Civic Center that we can't do anywhere
and I won't say what it is.
So you just come to see what it is that we can do in the Civic Center that we're not able to do anywhere else. But certainly we are glad that is happening, and certainly we don't know whether the Civic Center will change or be different, but certainly we're certainly glad to be able to bring it back. And certainly if any young ladies, if anybody wants to come, tickets are available at SavannahAlphas.com, and certainly we're still having tickets available. And if any young ladies are interested in being a debutante, I explained the certain process and certain ways to get in, so certainly you can also reach out to us on SavannahAlphas.com as well.
Okay, and we just had the information on the screen about the event, but here's where you can find out more information, WSAV.com/debutante80. Ramon,
Thank you.
Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you so much again.